Well, I hope everyone enjoyed that welcome break. Everything seems to be going so wonderfully well and so inspiring. I am absolutely amazed at the wonderful information that we have received so far. Knowledge is power. Um, so we're going to lead in now with how this said blueprint that Kate mentioned when we started actually puts us in a perfect position to address all the needs and goals that we have identified so far. We know that we can approach this as one network working together. We are actually so much more empowered to help one another, learn from shared experience and all the technology that all of us are able to bring to the table to really effect the necessary change in the world today and every day going forward, to ensure that this future is so much brighter for our children because of everything that we've been able to learn so far. So thank you, Kate. Thank you for leading us through this. I am just going to mute myself now. There we go. Thank you so much.
Mute. There we go. I know that Mark, our next speaker, we're about 15 minutes behind Mark, so I'm just going to take a 15-minute piece right now, and then we're going to start with you. And just thanks for your patience. Let's just start kind of pulling this full circle of where we started. I want to say what we have coming up for our final session today with Mark. I just want to say you do not want to miss it. Where we talked with, remember with Jeevan, how he was above the world, right? It was bigger than the world. It was above the world, more than the world. Mark is going to show us in a very experiential, practical, relevant way how to do that. We're going to find a closer relationship with God through that experience that he will lead us through. So you really don't want to miss it. I know it's super late in some places right now, especially in Asia, but it really is. We put Mark at the end for a reason. He's the cherry on top of the ice cream sundae. So I want to take a moment now. In the beginning, we talked about, we remember the 6 problems, right? Let me bring up my screen here. There we are. The 6 main problems. Remember, we don't want to focus on our problems. We want to put on our solutions glasses, our victory glasses, and see the solutions. But we do need to assess. Well, the reality is there's obstacles, right? But even as Dr. Lankarani shared and as Jeevan shared, like there's a way around the obstacles, and the obstacles actually can become our superpower, right? Like with Jan, right? Her orphan status became her superpower for what she's doing in the world today. 6 obstacles: lack of money, lack of people, lack of infrastructure, lack of a good plan, lack of training, and lack of equipment and tools. And remember I said, we're going to solve some of these problems today. Let's just not mess around. Let's just get right to it. Well, I want to say the infrastructure, we started the steps to addressing that problem right now. We established some relationship, maybe beginner level relationships. We had some people sharing their experiences and the knowledge and the expertise that they've gained in the name of our speakers. But then some of our questions really reinforced that infrastructure as we shared this space. We've started solving that infrastructure problem already. We did that today. And we will continue to do it. A good plan, like I said, I've described a little bit of it here, but as I said, you're going to receive the PDF ebook with the whole plan. I'd say, well, the level 1 level of the plan laid out. It's of course much more complex than that, but you will get that. So check that off our list. Training. We had some brilliant training so far, and of course we have Mark coming up. we've addressed that problem. Some really good training and teaching, some interaction in there. We've started to address that problem. And people, well, there's support already. Jeevan has already offered, Jan has offered, to connect with them. And Jan can come and speak to your children, to your leaders. Jeevan has offered as well. It's in the gift package that you'll receive, his contact information to be a consultant. He's gone from being in poverty to having multiple campuses throughout India. So he can share, if you want to reach out to him with your team, he can share his experience, how he did that, in addition, of course, to what he's also shared today. So you see, we've already solved some of these problems, or started to. All right. So then we have the money, and which is related to equipment and tools. All right. Here's the thing. There is a way to solve all of these problems on a more complete holistic way. And that's where we're inviting everyone here to join this global network. Hesed International is not me, it's not Marilise, and it's not anyone else already involved in Hesed International. Hesed International is you, it's the people, it's all of us, it's a family, it's a living, breathing, dynamic, relational, experiential thing. Very hard to wrap our heads around because we think in terms of organizations and structure like that. But kingdom, if we're to talk kingdom is not institutional. Kingdom is relational, it's experiential, it's relational. And every one of our speakers alluded to that today. Everybody came back to those things today. And so the invitation is to join in on a regular basis, Hesed International, the relationship, the network, the kingdom, if you will. So let's explain a little bit of what does that look like? What does that mean? What am I signing up for? Well, let's go into that. Let me, I'm going to share let's see here. There we go. All right. You all registered through the website, so you're familiar with this, but I'm gonna go to so obviously I'm a member, so I'm gonna go through, I'm gonna talk about what's next. What are the next steps? What does that look like? What does that mean for you? All right. Let's go to the level 2 page. There we go. So inside the website, we have, remember I was talking about trainings, leadership trainings of the trainings that help everybody build the foundations of we use the term village. Some people here already have a full-fledged village that's operational and functional. And some are like, I've got 10 kids that I'm just trying to feed, and everywhere in between. We consider it all building a village. So all the training, the entry-level training to build the foundations of your village are all in level 2. And if you remember I said all last year, God said, do this online training, and I didn't know why I was doing it. And then he showed me at the end of it, this is how you prepare leaders to build my kingdom, my villages. And then he showed me the next training and the next training. Those 3 training series are all here. You can see them as videos. You can work through them at your own pace. There's workbooks to go with each one. And if you'll remember, Dr. Lekrani says it starts with us. We need to experience that first, and then it pours out from us into our children. We could also use the same trainings with the children. But then in level 3, I'm just going to jump ahead. Remember I talked about the technology library, okay? And here are all the 14 mountains. There's all the icons here. So this technology library is constantly growing and building as more technologies come to us, we upload them into this library. And likewise, people here. So for example, Archie or Jimmy or Claude or Mark, anyone here has, we use technologies, teachings that the others can learn from, right? And contribute to the technology library. Let me just show you an example of one. Let's just go to the housing mountain. So I click on that. I click on that. Okay. Oh, I can't do it through shared screen. Rats. Okay, give me one quick second. How can I do this? I see. Hold on. There we go. Let me try again. Level 3. All right, housing. There we go. Okay, so in the housing mountain is training on how to build with natural building natural building supplies. So you'll see here, this is a description of what the housing mountain should look like for the blueprint. Then there's every single one of these links here, every single one of them links to instructional documents or books or videos on how to install the electrical, how to build the foundation, how to put in the windows and doors, flooring, beams, roofing, some designs for some smaller houses. How to build with cob. Cob is a mixture of sand, clay, and straw. And more. All of this is training that's available through the technology library. And then it moves to some design ideas, okay, just to stimulate to the imagination. These are the kinds of houses that can be built with natural building materials. It's really unlimited what you can create. And so these are just images to stimulate the imagination and to dream, as Jan talked about earlier, and to get ideas of what's possible, right? And then we go further, building with hemp bricks, which I did talk about a little earlier. These are some of the houses you can build. This is what a hemp brick looks like. They click together. Here's one in construction. And I'll just say, with the materials, a house can be framed like this in one weekend. You can put up the walls of the house, just as you see here in this photo. So this is what I'm referring to as the technology library. All these materials are available, and that's the housing mountain. Every mountain has a library behind it. There we go. With technologies. And like I said, it's constantly growing. All in one place that's easy to find. All right, let me just stop sharing there. There we go. So that's what we've been building, and it still builds, right? It builds through you. As I know, for example, Wilson, Edward, and Joseph in Uganda have a good music program. So as they develop that, then they can record videos of those teachings to share with the rest of us, and it would be uploaded, would be the Arts Mountain. And so everyone has access to it. Maybe you're really good. Actually, we have some good resources already in the Farming Mountain through Farming God's Way. All of that technology is in there. There is more technology for farming in there as well. So this is the next step from today. If you feel that that's where you need to be and where you want to build, this is what we've been building the last couple of years for you. Now, let's see here what I want to put. So we've been talking all day about breaking poverty, breaking victim, moving from victim to victory, poverty to abundance, Egypt to the promised land. And the next step starts with us. right? That starts with us. So what we're saying, it's important for everyone to invest in the economy, right? To join the economy and contribute in something, time, talent, money, your expertise, anything you have. So what we're asking is, can you put in $1 a day? Can you put into the economy $1 a day? That engages you into the family in a way that's undescribable. And that means for the whole organization. So for example, in Uganda, on the screen somewhere here, we have, Wilson, Joseph, and Edward. That's $1 a day for your whole organization to have access to the trainings. All right. Can you do that is what we're asking, because that will start to break the poverty cycle, the victim cycle for you and your organization. And so that's the question. Can you do that? Now, okay, let me just go to what that means. First of all, I'm going to share my screen again. PowerPoint. There we go. All right, so here we go. Let's just talk at next level. Next level, this is level 1 right here. This is level 1. Level 2 means we start the foundation building training series. All right. That's mostly about, can I say, team building. That's about going deeper with God and deeper within your team. It's about understanding the world we're in right now and the solutions that we have for it. Weekly training on Wednesdays, which would be at the time slot of 1 hour after we started this summit. Whatever your time you started at, it'll be 1 hour after that. Every Wednesday, a live training. On Fridays, a weekly come to the table. That is prayer. That's basically what we're going to experience with Mark coming up. It's that. You'll see. Collaboration, just like we've done today. Group support, finding solutions together. Helping one another, encouraging one another. One-on-one mentorship, okay? That's where are you at in the building process? Okay, all right, yes, okay, okay, we hear that. Okay, what we see is next you need to add in, oh goodness, farming. And how can we help you do that? It's just holding hands, hand in hand, taking the next step based on your unique situation. A monthly workshop, be kind of like today, like a guest speaker. It wouldn't be a 6-hour day. It would be maybe an hour, hour and a half, weekly or monthly workshop. And it might be you. It might be you delivering something that the rest of us needs to hear. All right, that we can learn from, discussion time and so on. So a miniature summit with one speaker. The 14 Mountain Blueprint Level 2, right? So that's the next level of what the 14 Mountain Blueprint looks like. Tons of other books and resources, as you just saw on the screen, and access to level 2 face group. That's how we communicate. So that's level 2. I want to quickly take, because we don't want to miss Mark, but let's see. We are going to do an information session on Monday. All right, we're going to send an email with the time and the link and everything. And we'll just do questions. What does this mean? And we'll just break it down. We'll talk as long as we need to get all the questions answered to move forward. So Marilise, can you think of anything else that we need to say?
I think you touched on all of it. Yes, I think anything else that hasn't been addressed or answered here, any questions that people may still have. I think the information session on Monday will be hugely helpful, because now that you've listened to all of this and you will receive the gift pack and you will see more of what is coming your way. I think it will just allow you some time to think about exactly what your needs are, how this is answering to all those needs, because what we didn't get to because we ran out of time was how these 14 mountains are literally addressing every area of society. There's nothing that any of us are dealing with that is not in part of that comprehensive plan that we've already seen. So I think that was it, Kate. I think Monday is the next logical step to see exactly how this can fit in.
Yeah. And we do want to say, if you really can't do $1 a day, okay, and we do recognize there are some situations where it's simply not possible, please talk to us, okay? This is not about, we're not getting rich off $1 a day, okay? This is not about us, and that's why it's $1 a day. It's to break, it's to think about the possibilities. It's to put our victory glasses on and see, I can do this. We can do this. It's saying, it's believing, I know God is going to provide. It's breaking, well, like Jeevan said, I didn't take money from anybody. And somehow God answered. And it's doing it a different way than we've been doing it so far, right? It's reversing the cycle of poverty and saying, so even think of the direction of money. Almost everybody here is surviving on donations. Okay, so it's reversing that. It's putting the power for you by reversing the direction of money. And it's only $1 a day. That's what I'm saying. It's worth so much more than that, but it's not about the money, but it is about the money. You see what I'm saying? And it's more about you reversing that process. Yeah, Marilyse?
Something that I just thought of now, and this is the wonderful thing about what Dr. Al was speaking about, the whole connectivity thing. Because the thing is, every one of us has limited capacity. But the moment we start working together, that is when our capacity increases. That's the fastest way to increase capacity. So again, what the money thing often causes is, I don't have this by myself, but if I partner with this and this and this person in my community, this is something that we can actually build on. This is something that we can actually raise as a group, whatever. So what that really opens us up to is, what situation am I finding myself in? And what is the first logical step I can take to advance out of that, to start building capacity, whatever level it is on. And it might be the need to build capacity on every level to get to a more ideal outcome. But the thing is, it starts with one. And this is where the conversations really get interesting, because this is where we start to help each other think of different ways in which we can start extending that capacity and then also extending our reach because of what we are able to achieve together. So that, yeah, that's what even neuroscience has taught you today. Yeah.
Yeah. And we dare to dream together, right? If we were to come right back to the beginning, we dare to dream together. And we just, we want to walk with you through that. Like, that's my heart. I want to come and visit every location, or I can only speak for myself, but I'm sure Marilyse agrees. We want to come. We want to visit your location, and we want to advance that. So that's what we're asking. And just really, my last point is, because I forgot to mention the lack of money and the lack of tools and equipment, which were related. There are hundreds of trillions of dollars available. Okay, let me say that. Remember, we talked about 71% of the world is covered in water. They say there's a shortage of water, but there is no shortage of water. It's a matter of distribution and stewardship, right? There are hundreds of trillions of dollars earmarked for an organization that addresses child poverty, addresses sustainable living, that's global and that has a good plan. You have to meet those 4 criteria. No one here, not even us, meets that on our own to tap into that $1 trillion. We figure we can do it with 25 million. We don't even need $1 trillion, but there are hundreds of trillions of dollars earmarked today for an organization that can fill that mandate. But together as one, we can. And we are preparing right now. We've started preparing for that application to access even some of that money, which then of course trickles down to your location. And we're not making promises or guarantees. We know God is making the way because he's given us connections to that money. But what we're saying is invest your time, your talent, your treasure, even $1 a day. And again, it's not about the money because we're talking trillions, right? It's about you engaging and breaking that poverty cycle. But again, if it's really if it's finding food for today to feed yourself and your kids, talk to us and we'll find a way. Okay. All right. Information coming out an email right after this summit. You'll have it all in your inbox about the information session on Monday. I don't want to take any more time because I'm so excited for Mark. I can't wait. So go ahead, Mary.